Okay, it should be going live any second. We're live, Carl.
All right, and welcome to the Recovery Revolution live stream today. And happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Carl, one of the co-hosts for the show today, and we are being joined by Brett Morris and Ashley Grimes. Say hello to our lovely fans on the live stream today. Along with Ashley, hello, everybody. And we have a tremendous show lined up for you guys today. And we're so happy to be here today, and it's Thursday, and my day was wonderful today, guys. How was your day today?
Not too bad, man. I'm getting over a little bit of a stomach bug of some sort, so kind of a chill day for me. I was off work, so nothing too crazy.
Okay. All right. You feeling better now?
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Okay. Excellent. And Ashley and we had a lovely conversation on my drive into work today, so that was a lot of fun. Thank you, Ashley, for keeping me company on the way into work.
No problem. Did you get your car fixed with the parking situation?
Yes, I did. Actually, I stole my boss's parking spot, and as we were on the phone, she drove by, and I couldn't make out what she was saying to me because her windows were up, but I could definitely tell that she was like, "Why are you parking in my spot?" I don't know if you've ever experienced that before, but yeah, so I quickly moved. But our parking is so hard because we work in a residential neighborhood, and so the parking is tricky sometimes, and so it's yeah, sometimes we have to park like a block away, and it's like a really sketchy neighborhood too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do this. So yeah.
Do you get scared in a sketchy neighborhood?
Who, me? No.
Yeah.
Who, bougie?
Oh yeah, bougie over here. Bougie. No, I only get scared when I have to go to the gym late at night to go tanning.
Well, you said you didn't want to park far away because it was a sketchy neighborhood, so I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, no. Well, we have a lot of cameras that face our cars and stuff, and like watch, because it is like South Vallejo, and that is definitely like it's there's gunshots usually that ring out at least a few times a week in our neighborhood. So yeah, we're right in the midst of real recovery and real treatment of people with addiction in South Vallejo. So yeah, and Brett, you're feeling better, huh? You're over your little stomach
feeling
thing?
a little better.
Okay,
I got my Gatorade. I'm ready to go, man.
Nice. Your Pedialyte? Did you drink any Pedialyte?
No, I'm not a big Pedialyte guy.
Okay, yeah, that's what my doctor always makes me drink is Pedialyte, but it's so salty, man. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Got a bougie doctor.
I do have a bougie doctor, and he keeps Perrier in the refrigerator for me on the occasion that I might pop in to say hi to him. So guys,
he makes you feel special.
He does. But you need to feel special when you go to the doctor because, they're charging the insurance company a lot of money, so they need to make us feel bougie and special, I think.
No, I think I just need to go and then get out. Like
yeah, very true.
I don't want to have a visit. Well, I guess you do want to visit, but you just want a quick visit, not a like a drink and
Yeah, just visiting this time. You don't need to do a full exam. What's up, recovery friend? Tanya, welcome everybody. I hope that you got your merchandise. I don't know if I actually haven't checked on that, Tanya, but let us know if you have any problems receiving the merchandise that you picked up on our last raffle. And today, guys, we have a great show lined up for you. So we're going to have a contest that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing an announcement for that. And then we have McDonald on, and we're going to do his introduction here in a minute. And we're going to be doing a book giveaway, and then we have some announcements to make. And if you guys are on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Our subscriber count continues to rise, and it helps everybody find our podcast and our stream here. And we definitely appreciate all of you guys coming on tonight and taking the time to spend the evening with us. We love doing this show, so thank you everybody for coming on. So, Brett, do you want to jump into our first announcement of the day?
I would love to do the first announcement. So, we are doing a T-shirt design contest. Is that the announcement that you were referring to, or did I jump the gun?
Nope, you're
okay. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yes.
So we're going to bring David on here in just a second to tell us a little bit more about it. But we're going to be doing a T-shirt design contest, and the spot to enter your designs has been pinned to the top of the Facebook page. So if you would like to enter that contest, it's going to be right there at the very top. It'll be really easy to find. And I think we should just bring David on and let him tell us more about it.
Yeah. Why don't you bring him in, and then David can walk us through what this is going to look like. And
yeah, hey guys. So David Barnes, owner of Broken Chains Apparel. Brett and JR and I talked, I don't know, Brett, what was it? A month or two ago. We actually talked about doing this, and, the idea is there's a lot of people in recovery who are fantastic artists, and we just want to get, our viewers, our customers, things like that, involved. So we decided to do this contest, and what we want to do is, it doesn't have to be artistic. It can be just, a slogan, or, just a phrase, or it can be some really cool artwork to go on a shirt that has to do with recovery. So what we're going to do is Brett pinned the place to submit to, and we're going to run it for 30 days. And then what'll happen is the winner will get a T-shirt with their design on it, and then we're going to list it on our webpage, our social media accounts, list them as the artist. And then I was also thinking, if you have other artwork out there you have in the product description on my website, I would put a link to your, maybe, I don't know, your Instagram account or wherever you might have your artwork. And also give away a $25 Amazon gift card as well. So, a lot of great artists out there, and we just want to kind of get you guys involved in some of it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then kind of as a side note, even if you aren't submitting art to the contest, there's still a feature where you can click that link and you can vote on which ones your favorite designs are. So you can go on there and vote. So even if you're not going to put one in there, go ahead and jump on there and vote once we get a few people that have submitted some designs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very and that's really cool, man, because, like you said, David, there are so many good artists in the recovery community, and to be able to showcase their art and to be able to take it and put it onto something that is going to have meaning and value to somebody that might be struggling, or, even maybe if it's a phrase that somebody has, and then we can, you can team up with another artist to give more of a story around that phrase, because a lot of times words speak to us, but if we can tie those words into art as well, now we're telling that complete story to people, and we're able to really reach somebody and really touch inside of their soul. And that's what recovery art and recovery active wear and stuff like that is able to do for people that are in our programs.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Partner up, and just kind of, you know, just try and knock it out the park, man. We want to see some really cool designs. And honestly, we'll probably even share a lot of the designs. I will on my social media pages, Broken Chains Apparel. So, just get them in there. We're going to run it for 30 days. Go in, vote for the ones that you see that you like, and, we'll go from there.
That's great, man. That's great. So they'll be submitting everything over to your company, and then you guys are going to decide which one. Is it just one that you're picking, or are you picking a couple of them, or what's the thought process behind that?
Well, originally it was one, but now that you say
Mhm.
that, I don't know. Maybe we can do two or three.
Yeah.
Let's see how many submissions we get, right? We
Okay.
can go from there. But I'm glad you said that because, there may be several that are really good, and we have a hard time deciding who the winner is, right? Maybe there's some ties. So
Exactly. And I'm going to throw another curveball at you, David. My mind is going
sure.
with this now.
Okay.
This might even be a fun thing to do annually that we can run on the Recovery Revolution Live, and now we can have an annual contest where people send it in,
Yeah.
and that will be a collector shirt. So, maybe in your designs, if you want to include the year 2022,
I love it.
somewhere in the design, and then that way, your design is going to be stamped for this year's winner, and then next year when we do the contest, we can get a whole new design and a whole new feel for it. So
Yeah. Love it. Great idea.
yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Cool, man. Well, I'm excited, brother. I'm not an artist, but I want to see what they
Me
turn
neither.
out.
I'm not either, not by any means.
Yeah.
Any artwork that's on there, I've paid a professional to design. I
Mhm.
had the idea, the thought process, and they put it together for me. Now, as far as the phrases, I've come up with those, but and some of them are just popular phrases, right?
Yeah.
And we just got it on a shirt or hoodie, whatever. So.
Yeah, well, that's great. So again, guys, if you're an artist out there and maybe you're catching the show after the live stream, we get a lot of people that will catch our show after the live stream. Oh, we got Jeff on the show. Jeff, how you doing, sir? Good to see you as always. We got the information up here. Oh, Brett threw that other one up there. Oh, sorry, Jeff. So if you guys want to go and sign up for it, sorry. Good job, Carl. Brett and I both have controls over the
We both are clicking the same button at the same time.
Exactly. Good job. So if you guys would like to enter the design contest and submit a t-shirt design, feel free to do so. All submissions are welcome, and we look forward to seeing who some of the artwork that's going to be up there, and then who the winner is going to be. So very excited to see that, David.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right, brother. Well, it's good to have you on, man. And you have always been a supporter of the show, and I definitely want to thank you for supporting the show and sending over your merchandise and doing the sponsorships of the show and everything, man.
Sure.
We really appreciate that. And I know that our viewers love getting the Broken Chains apparel in the mail, and Brett is sporting his Broken Chains apparel. I gotta get me a t-shirt, man. I don't have a Broken Chains
Step up
t-shirt.
your
We'll
game, man.
I know,
we'll see what we can do, Carl. We'll see
All
what
right,
we can
brother.
do.
You send me one of yours, I'll send you one of mine.
Sounds good. Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on here and allowing me to announce the contest.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And we'll have you back on as the contest is rolling out, and maybe we can show some of the submissions. And then, later on when you're ready to do the announcement for the winner, we'll bring you back on and we can make a big thing of it, man.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah. Cool, David. Well, thank you very much for being on the show today, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a great night.
Okay, you too.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, guys. So we have a really special guest coming in today. Brett, do we have any announcements that we want to do before we have our guest come on to the stream?
That I'm not 100% sure on, because I know we had a few different announcements and some dates have changed, so I don't know the exact announcements.
Okay.
Do we want to announce tonight's giveaway so people can start entering that contest?
Let's go ahead and do the. Let's go ahead and announce the giveaway. so that we can start doing that. That would be awesome.
We are going to be giving away this lovely Recovery Revolution shirt from doingitsober.com. If you want to enter for your chance to win this shirt, all you have to do is comment hashtag doingitsober in the comments, and you will automatically be entered for your chance to win.
Nice.
As always, we have the option where you guys can send us a voice message for the show. So if you want to do that, you can go to speak-2.us/RRL to leave a voice message. And of course, those links will be in the description and the show notes later on after we get off the air. So if you want a little clickable link, those will be there. And I think Carl already hit it, but if you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us so you can get all the notifications and stuff when we have new live videos coming out. And we also have recently started a TikTok and Instagram accounts where we've been posting little clips from the weekly live. So that's been a lot of fun. So be sure to check those out as well. Both of those are under, under Recovery Revolution Live.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for those, Brett. So like Brett said, we have our new channels going up, and we are trying to post content up there, snippets of the show, funny outtakes. We always have a good set of outtakes throughout the show. So Brett does a wonderful job of putting some of those screenshots together for you guys in little short videos. So definitely check out those platforms. And while you're on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell so that you get the notifications every time that we have a new show that's posting, in case you missed the live show. So Brett, are we ready to bring in our guest for the day?
I think so, man. He's been waiting in the green room long enough.
All right. Why don't you bring him in, and I'm going to read the intro that we did for him. So, guys, please give a warm welcome to David McDonald, who is a person thriving in recovery from severe mental and substance use disorders since 2004. Or, excuse me, Donald's background. Oh,
there we go.
I had one job. Brett, hit the button.
I had one job.
You're at -1.
Job. -1. Donald, don't worry. I'm going to refer to you as David for the rest of the show. And I can't even see you guys because I'm reading on my screen here. Okay, so let's get back to it. Donald's background includes being a consumer of behavioral health services, a partner of treatment and recovery support services in multiple settings, health policy advocate, and recovery community leader. Previously, Donald served as the National Field Director of Faces and Voices of Recovery and the Executive Director of Addiction Professionals in North Carolina and the Director of Advocacy and Education at Recovery Communities in North Carolina. His current role is Technical Expert Lead at JBS International, where he provides training and technical assistance to our HRSA-funded rural across the, now we're on to the second page here, country as they build up capacity. I'm so sorry.
Well, let him tell us about it.
To the overdose crisis pandemic. Donald is a war veteran and former preschool teacher. Donald, you're going to have to work with me on my comprehension here. He is a husband, father, grandfather, and social worker, and a licensed clinical addiction specialist, LCAS, and recovery coach, RCP, and holds a Bachelor of Education in the North Carolina State University Masters of Social Work from Chapel Hill. Donald is a proud recipient of the NCADD Bronze Key Award and the North Carolina Dogwood Award. He is the producer and host of the YouTube video podcast, No Thanks, But Yes, featuring chill conversations with people who overcome chronic substance relationships. So, Donald, welcome to the show. As I totally butchered my reading, I had one job, and maybe I'm not going to have that job after this show. But definitely welcome to the show, and that's just part of the fun of doing everything live, man.
I have not done live shows, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. On my show, we talk for like 30 minutes. I make it a tight 20 and send it out. This is mortifying.
Yeah, man, it's
y'all
crazy.
are brave.
And I took my glasses off, and it was like nice and large text, but it was slightly fuzzy. And I was like, oh, I'll take my glasses off, and this is going to make it so much better. And yeah, it made everything smaller, and then my eyes had to adjust. So
Man, that's
yeah.
all right.
Oh, when I had to do it for someone for a conference that was taped, they had to tape me like 4 times. So don't feel bad. We're not
Okay,
giving you a hard
good.
time.
Oh
We're,
my
we're
goodness.
identifying that we do the same
Yeah.
thing and we know how mortifying it is. We're laughing, but
Yes.
we're trying to make it normal because it really is normal.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, no, it's always fun. Did you guys ever like, so because I do 12 step, and I always like feared the big readings in the
Oh,
meeting, and
yeah.
like my sponsor would be like, "Oh, here, read this," and I'm like, "Oh man, screw
And
you, dude."
anonymity, anonymity.
Anonymity.
Yeah,
Anonymity is
confession.
key.
For the first like 2 or 3 months that I went to meetings, I would be there on time, and I would sit in my car and wait like 10 minutes so that I wouldn't be handed
Yeah,
one of the long readings.
that's smart, resourceful.
Brett, that's I'm so glad that you've gotten past that.
Oh, I'll read anything in front of anybody, but
Yeah, right.
not in the
Yeah,
beginning.
now it doesn't scare me. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. Yes, Heather, poor Carl. Thank you very much, Heather. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, definitely support there. Thank you. But yeah, guys, that just goes to show you this is all part of recovery, right? This is even the times that we stumble, and like that probably would have thrown my whole day into like a spiral before coming into a recovery program. So, what about you, Donald? Do you ever struggle with things like that, where like you're on the spot and like you're just
Absolutely.
kind of fumbles?
Oh, absolutely. But just as you said, one of the gifts of recovery is our capacity to roll with those things and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're not big deals. They're just not big deals, man.
Yeah, and that's the whole gift around the mindset that we get to put ourselves in, and the capability of looking at things in a completely different manner now that we have some serenity and we have a better mindset about things. So,
No
well,
doubt.
Donald, you have a large list of achievements, accomplishments, credentials, and also saw down there that you were a war veteran. So thank you very much for your service.
Thank you,
We
thank you.
appreciate that.
I'm not a combat veteran, but
Okay.
I did serve during war, and safely away from the sandbox, providing naval intelligence tactical
Ah,
advisories to combat elements. So
okay.
yeah,
Wow, that sounds impressive just
it was
by
fun.
itself.
Yeah, I was in active alcohol use disorder at the time too, so
Okay.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, it just makes everything so much better. Um, well, that's really interesting. My grandfather was a naval intelligence officer during World War II, and
Wow.
so we were able to. We have, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 of these canvas bags that have all of his photos from the war,
So cool.
and it's really cool to see because it's like he would go up and do aerial like ship movements, and then we have the invasion of Normandy from the air. There's a large there's a photo of the Bismarck being blown up. It's very far away, but on the back it's that was deemed to be the Bismarck explosion, and so
Wow.
yeah, really interesting history within that. And
No
I'm sure
doubt.
that you probably got to see a lot of interesting history unfold.
Yeah, I mean, not World War II level
Right.
interesting. Those were exciting times for intelligence when we
Hmm.
really started getting into cracking codes. No, I got to see the fall of the Soviet Union.
Wow.
We helped end the Cold War, and which apparently is getting a bit chilly again now.
Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
Operation Desert Storm as
Okay.
well. We had not been at war for a very, very long time, so
Hmm.
articles were getting posted saying what is war like, and then who knew we would be at war for 20 years
Yeah.
in this particular century.
Yeah. With
Crazy.
I think 3 or 4 different operations going on within that period in the
Yeah,
same region, and
yeah.
still happening today. I mean, we still have some forces over there.
Yeah.
And so so definitely, if you guys have anybody that's over doing serving their our country or doing service of any sort, take the time to thank them if you see them, because definitely thank you, Donald.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. And I won't give you any grief for being in the Navy, I promise.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, not a problem. So I served in the Marine Corps, so
Oh, right on.
but we appreciate the ride. So thank you very
I
much.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I served with Marines,
Nice.
served under several gunny sergeants.
Oh,
Part
the
of my
best.
story is the pride that my first gunny sergeant showed in my capacity to hold alcohol. It was a big deal. It was my first duty station, and he said, "Damn, McDonald, you can hold your liquor." I felt that dad love, man. It was
Right?
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially coming from a gunny. You're like, oh, gunny. That just means the world to me, man. Good times,
Good
brother.
time.
So, Donald, tell us how you came into. You said that you were drinking while you were in the service, and tell us a little bit about what that experience was like for you, and then how you kind of pulled yourself out of it.
Oh, you bet. So I began using alcohol and drugs at an extremely young age, as a result of childhood trauma, co-occurring mental disorders, living in a culture that celebrated alcohol and other drugs, in a household that normalized alcohol and drug use, and that's just how my very young childhood was. So I struggled with alcohol and drugs for many years. Actually, they served me well in balming my emotional and physical pain, and in helping me cope and escape. But it was really joining the service when I discovered that this relationship with substances was no longer it didn't work anymore, because I was honorably serving. I was really good at my job. I was making rank, but showing up late for work and showing up hungover and stuff like that. It's just not manageable. And so they gave me a treatment event in the Navy. And it was very much one of those 1980s, very much 12-step focused, singular focus, without being trauma informed or savvy to co-occurring mental disorders or anything. But it stuck. It stuck for a good 3 years, because I had a very structured environment I was living in. I was good at my job, purposeful job. I had a partner that was supportive of my sober lifestyle. But then, um, you know, uh, got a divorce, got stationed overseas, taken away from my supportive environment, and war broke out, and stress, trauma, dislocation, isolation, funky purpose, experienced a return to use, and they just asked me to go home. They gave me an honorable discharge, thanked me for my service, but asked me not to stick around. So that's when I came back to Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right, and have you called Raleigh, North Carolina, your home since?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was raised in Asheville, North Carolina, which is in the mountains, and escaped from there to join the service. Touched down here after getting out of the service in Raleigh. Did not intend to stay at all, man. It was like I was flipping a coin. Am I going to LA or New York City? LA or New York City? But I ended up just establishing roots here in Raleigh, and I have been here with my beloved wife now of nearly 30 years.
Wow.
4 children, couple grandchildren. Got sober here. Got into the profession here. Got into advocacy at my municipal and state level, and have a home here I've been in for over 25 years. This house here was my daughter's bedroom, now my office.
Wow, that's great, man.
Pretty
And
good.
and I'm looking behind you, and it looks like you're really into music as well. You have you have a bass over there, and you also have a or not a sousaphone, a trumpet behind you. So
Yeah.
so it seems to me like maybe you enjoy some jazz.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a musician. I played in a number of ska bands.
Nice.
connectivity issues now and then.
Yeah.
Reggae bands, ska bands, jazz, funk, and Dread 34, Blue Marble Beat, Zen Groove, Funkestra. And
Okay.
so my podcast, actually, the theme music for it is one of our songs from a band I
Nice.
was in called Zen Groove Orchestra.
Nice.
Yeah, right on. But I don't
Yeah,
play the
brother.
bass. I know how to tune
Yeah.
it. That's it. That was
Okay.
my daughter's bass. I'm a horn player. That's my flugelhorn back there.
Okay. Yeah, your flugelhorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So yeah, I'm also a horn player. So
Oh, no shit.
I did some big band and jazz band throughout college and high school, and even was in a steel drum band for a little while in college. And I did the bass drums, and it was cool because we had to get this huge truck to take them to a gig, and they were like oil drums, basically upright oil drums that we'd set on blocks, and we had 6 of them, and each drum you had 3 notes, so it was one note that was on either octave, and then the third octave on that drum, and so we would play and stuff, and man, it was so cool. But
That
you
is
know,
cool. What kind of horn do you play?
I play a bass trombone and trombone, so I have a Getson bass trombone, and played throughout high school, and I was the principal bass trombone player for the Solano County high school bands, and man, that was really cool because I got to teach people how to play at the end of my senior year, and one of my students made last chair in the trombone section, and I made first chair in the bass trombone section, and so he and I made the honor band, and we got to sit next to each other. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
I love the trombone. Love the trombone. Love Trombone Shorty.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. Awesome. You'll have to come out to California. We got the Mendocino Music Festival every year.
No one's coming to California.
And it's amazing, man. Well, we'll get you some information on that.
Yeah, and I'm planning, hopefully, on coming to the Mendocino area, actually, hopefully within the next 2 years. I'm working with a community there that is responding to the overdose crisis.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, you and I should definitely link up. I'm not too far from Mendocino.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm in Northern California, so that would be really cool, man.
That's a pretty rural area.
Oh, yeah. Mendocino is. It's the pot capital of California.
Oh, well, there's that.
Yeah. It's like cannabis central up there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but it's really beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful up there. The redwoods and everything. Ashley, were you saying something about not wanting to come to California?
This thing, because I live in Florida and he lives in California, so it's like the battle of there's a lot of battles between the two states, but we'll just go with the battle of the beaches. I live in Daytona.
Ooh, clever.
Oh, yeah, that is really hard to beat, Daytona Beach. Now, Northern California does have different type of beaches. Wow, that almost sounds really bad. So our beaches are colder, so you have to usually wear a wetsuit to go into the beaches. But you have Monterey County, which has beautiful beaches down there, and but then you get down to Southern California, and that's more like the Atlantic Ocean. When you go down into Florida and stuff, the water temperature is around the same. So
yeah, I think if I go on vacation, I'm going somewhere there's not beaches, just because it's pretty, but when you see it all the time, you kind of get immune to it. I need mountains and somewhere my cell phone doesn't work.
Okay, you could go visit Brett in Texas. That kind of meets all the criteria that you just
Our
mentioned.
cell phones work here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Texas is traumatic for me. I lived there for 5 years.
Oh, okay, well, not Texas. How about we send you to? How about you go to Seattle?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Seattle's pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's where Recovery Cafe is. You should check it out. They're awesome.
Yeah.
What's
definitely.
Recovery Cafe? Tell me about this.
Oh, Recovery Cafe is a model of a recovery community organization. It's just where people can come if you're in recovery for one day and get connection with your fellows, get good coffee, take some classes, seek some positions of responsibility and stewardship within it, access resources. It's just a splendid model for recovery coaching and community-based recovery support services. Wow. Recovery Cafe.
And actually, they're starting one at the drive-in church here. And the recovery community organization that I'm a part of is partnering, but it hasn't started yet. So, but we're talking about matching funds because there's a scholarship or a grant. Now that you said, I just thought that was like the name of what the program they're doing. I didn't really realize it was.
Right. Well, it's not a trademark name. So what you have is a lot of people across the country that might be calling themselves a recovery cafe, which is fine. Coffee and recovery and connection, but it is a very specific model that began in Washington and has spread throughout the country. Yeah,
that's really
very
awesome.
cool.
I think, now that you mentioned that, Donald, I think that JR should do a retreat for the staff at the Recovery Revolution to Washington, JR, and there we can be stewards of the Recovery Revolution live show. We'll even do a live broadcast from there. JR's given us a thumbs up, so that sounds like a plan. Thanks, JR.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's not even in here. No.
There's some great recovery voices there for you
Yeah.
to talk to. Yes.
Is it kind of like going to mobilize? No. You said
Oh,
voices. Mhm.
just some really amazing people in recovery that are leading up a recovery cafe that would be great guests on this show for sure.
Yeah.
Send them our way.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, they're the people that you meet in recovery, like everyone says, don't hang out with them, it'll bring you down this path or it'll do this, or, some of the people in recovery are the people I trust the most. Like people that haven't like lived any of it or been in trouble or anything, I would trust a lot of people in recovery a lot more than normal people.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's, to what Ashley is saying, I think that it's that bond that we have with other people that have gone through the same path, and we're all heading in the same direction, the direction of staying sober, and keeping ourselves with and amongst like people. So that really makes sense to me, Ashley. Like I trust. I'm fairly trusting in general, but I would definitely trust somebody in long-term recovery, probably a little bit faster than I might trust somebody outside of recovery. But but I've also seen people in long-term recovery who, aren't that trustworthy either. But
It's that service component. I think the ones that are giving back that like we see every day, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And I look at it completely different. I'm like, with the people in recovery, like we're all so different, but we can be ourselves. And that's what, like, that to me, that's where I feel like I belong, instead of like, nobody's just quite like me. So I have to accept that. And so a place where other people accept that that's okay is great.
Absolutely. Brett, I'm slightly distracted by your background, brother. It's very mesmerizing. I feel like I've walked into an LSD shop. And can you get some like do you remember those blacklight mushrooms that had the posters and stuff? If you like, I don't know if you've ever been to like the Haight and Ashbury, but they're like all over down there. But like, I want to go get you one and like to put up like behind you. Is that a black light or is that just a blue LED light, man?
I can change it to whatever color.
Oh, you fancy. Ashley,
I'm trying to diversify the background because I haven't quite finished setting up this space yet, and I wanted to. It's in the same condition as it was last week. Like I haven't unpacked a single box since last Thursday. So I just put some colored lights up.
That's
so
cool,
it looks
man.
a little different.
Yeah, Donald, you weren't here, but I was giving him a hard time for his shelf that he covered up. I'm gonna have to come over there.
My wife and I just bought a house. We just moved in. Behind me, where these flags are hanging, there's a big shelf that I have just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff on. Yes. And he was giving me a hard time, so I like 2 minutes before the show started, I grabbed a couple zip ties and like zip tied these flags over this shelf.
Very cool. The
Don't
flags
decorate.
come in handy.
Yeah.
Don't decorate. There's possibilities. You can just think of all the stuff you want to put on it, and then every time he tells you, you just haven't been able to decide what you want there.
Exactly, right. Dude. You should build a shelf like you put in your bedroom, man, because those shelves are really
nice
cool.
Shelf. Yeah, but I mean, like this one's huge.
Well, I mean, just get a bigger piece of wood, brother.
I don't have that kind of time, man.
No, it's okay. I've got some wood here. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Why don't you build him a shelf and send it to him? Just take care of the whole thing.
I'm not that handy.
Well, I tried, Brett. Sorry.
Yeah, she
It's all
tried.
good.
She tried.
That's all good.
So Donald, are you particularly handy around the house, and do you consider yourself to be
Well,
a Tim the Tool Man Taylor?
I hung those shelves in that closet
Okay.
that has no door, and I had a flag over it for a little while too. That's why I'm laughing,
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Everything's folded and hung up,
Yeah,
and
man.
I screwed those in. So I'm not particularly handy, but I've been a homeowner for 25 years, so
Okay.
I've replaced a lot of lights and fixed
Yeah.
a couple dryers, but no,
Okay.
I'm not a handy fellow.
Yeah.
I'm up here most of the time.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Brett's my handyman. He just never comes over and does anything to my house. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, we're only
Brett's
like 20
face.
hours apart.
Dude, you said you were going to come to Black Bear Diner, and then you ended up at the wrong one. So that's on you.
So, Donald, I'm going to put you on the spot since, mobilize. And, I got to do this. So, what's your favorite policy? And what's your least favorite policy in the news, either, in your local area or, for the United States?
Yeah. Well, my favorite policy-wise is a national trend towards recognizing the value of the evidence-based public health interventions around harm reduction. So, seeing legislation both nationally and states statutes supporting harm reduction outreach and services, and the American Rescue Plan funding for harm reduction services. That's been some of my favorite, and that's I've come to understand that greater as I've been working in training and technical assistance in response to the overdose crisis. Is we need unrestrained harm reduction services. So the body count is staggering. Over 104,000 folks died of overdose between September 2020, September 2021. So we should not balk at any service that saves lives, whether it's targeted naloxone distribution or lowering the barriers to opioid agonist medications as overdose prevention save lives. While concurrently, we build out, social determinants of health for folks, while we address inequity, while we transform drug policy, because drug policy is one of the threats to people's preservation of life and preservation of freedom. So that's some of my favorite policies going on. Least favorite is how quickly we're seeing some policymakers respond to the harm reduction grant monies coming out of SAMHSA, that it includes safe smoking kits. And we're seeing legislators like Rubio and Manchin come out with, yeah, but I mean, they had the wherewithal with such alacrity to write legislation saying, but no pipes. But we have these problems we've been dealing with for decades otherwise that they just seem to be so slow on responding to. So that's it. I think we're seeing this kind of weird focus on pipes, stems, bubbles, and I think it's based in implicit bias against people who use drugs, against people of color. So that's some of my least favorite trend going on right now. So they kind of go together.
Well, we won't talk about where Rubio's from, but yeah. But anyway, I think it's just they're using things that get headlines, and they're wanting to argue on some of that stuff.
I agree.
I mean, with naloxone, I've said this a million times. Is when I first got into recovery, I was against it because I thought it was allowing people to use. I thought I was giving them an excuse. But once I was educated about it and learned about it in different areas, it's just giving them an excuse to be alive tomorrow. It's letting someone be here one more day so that maybe they find recovery tomorrow. It's not you're not condoning anything. You're not judging them. It's there's just a lot of, power in loving people. And
Indeed. Yeah, many of us carried biases against, I too, against harm reduction, against opioid agonist medications. We were socialized, I think, to feel some kind of way about that. But there comes a time where we have to take off that cultural hat of our 12-step foundation and don our public health hat, our health policy hat, our drug policy hat, and say we come from a culture that embraces certain ideals that maybe ought not be the basis of full-scale policy for broad populations of people, And so I was with you on that, and I also experienced a transformation of being resistant to that, to becoming an activist for uh, the preservation of life and multiple pathways of recovery too.
it was so exciting. Our RCO was at Stetson either yesterday or today. Their staff. So I'm just a volunteer. So during the day, but I was so proud to see that they were there. And then UCF gives naloxone to any student or staff with no question asked at their pharmacy, and it hasn't been broadcasted, loudly, but I think it's amazing that they're doing that.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. That's an evidence-based strategy to save lives in the midst of one of the deadliest public health crises in global history is targeted naloxone distribution, but we're having difficulty getting it out on the street. We'll give it to treatment centers, eventually law enforcement and other first responders carry it, but man, it needs to be where people who use drugs, family members of people who use drugs, it needs to be out there. Many of the reversals are performed by people who use drugs and their loved ones. So,
and the schools, that's the sad one to me. We had, a couple of weeks ago, several kids overdosed at school, and and the school system came back and said, we expel this. Kids need to know that they're going to get expelled. Every kid knows if they get caught with drugs on campus, you're going to be in trouble. Instead, it was more punishment instead of, let's think about maybe if the first responders hadn't had naloxone, we wouldn't have some kids, and we would have to be dealing with the grief of all the other children that had to witness it and lose their friends.
Yes. We do need to overcome our bias against naloxone, for sure. Get it everywhere. And opioid agonist medications like buprenorphine and methadone. We may have our biases against those, and they may be even based anecdotally on some personal experience that we may have. But broadly speaking, data support these as evidence-based overdose prevention interventions. And we have to save lives before we can promote whatever angle we may have on recovery, whether, it's a spiritual awakening or whether it's full health and fitness or whether it's, a religious conversion or whatever. That comes later. That comes when folks decide who their crew is going to be, what their journey is going to look like. But if we put that before life-saving interventions, we're missing out. We lost our eye on the ball. You got to keep your eye on the ball.
So I have a question for you on that note. This is a debate we've had between a few of us. I won't say who, but what do you feel about sober bars and stuff like that, where people, mocktails and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I support it. One of the guests on my podcast, no thanks, but yes, is Chris Marshall, founder of Sands Bar in Austin, Texas. And I visited there recently and hung out. I think that folks in early recovery from alcohol use disorder, like anybody who is in recovery from anything, ought to be very mindful of triggering sights, smells, flavors, what have you. I don't recommend maybe right out the gate, if you're suffering from a severe alcohol use disorder, that you start drinking It's been a wonderful bit of recreation for us. I'd love to see more of them.
Me too. I think that people, you meet other people that have the same, that want to hang out and have fun. And it's there's that social aspect that people don't feel like they can go to clubs or
Yes.
or play pool and so I feel like it's almost a risk to take away that whole social thing from people more than it is to just replace it where they meet people that are like-minded and have the same goals instead of them just like white knuckling it at bars with their friends trying not to drink. Now they go to a place where they don't sell alcohol, but still get to have those fun activities and connection.
Right. But I think also what Donald was saying is super important to reiterate too, because, people in early recovery or even in long-term recovery, if you're thinking about going to a sober bar where they might be serving mocktails and it could be very triggering for you, I know for myself, the bar scene is triggering in and of itself. And I've heard the mocktails. I haven't tried a mocktail, but I wouldn't be I would try one because I feel that my recovery right now is really strong, but I would also be on high alert with trying one and probably not go back and do that for a while just to make sure that there were no repercussions of triggers that might come up for me or feelings that might come up for me. Because it's those unknown triggers that we haven't been able to identify. If we've been doing work on triggers, it's those ones that we can't foresee are the most, I feel, are probably the most dangerous. And the ones that I've seen, the clients that I've worked with in recovery and been counseling and stuff, those are the ones that really are harmful. So,
well, the great thing about mocktails is they don't necessarily have to be de-spirited liquors or beers. They're just interesting social beverages, and
yes.
I personally am not a fan of spiritless, and that's probably a brand name, so I don't want to say that of alcohol-free liquors and alcohol-free beers. I love just to have a super bubbly something with some spicy ginger in it and maybe a twist of lime.
Yeah.
Because when I was in early recovery from alcohol and drug use disorder, I used to get frustrated when I went out to restaurants and stuff like that, and maybe friends were ordering this and that, and it was like Coke or Sprite. Coke or Sprite. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
don't you got an IBC root beer or maybe a cream soda or something, man? Make it interesting, make it fun. Yeah.
I really like the ginger beers, although I've tried to stay away from them now because of my my diet lifestyle choice, which is the kind of keto based. So I try to stay away from those sugars.
Yeah.
But I love the spiciness of a ginger beer, and it really kind of has that that little, it's almost like a burn, but not really. But it kind of reminds me of that little burn. And I was like, oh, that's really kind of nice.
I dig it. You
Yeah,
have to be cautious though. Some ginger beers rarely have alcohol in them, and I ordered a ginger beer at a restaurant once, and the server brought it out, and it was a brand I wasn't aware of. So I did fortunately have the wherewithal to twist the label and take a little peek, and I was like, nope, that's not the one for me, bro.
Yeah, we were doing a recovery. Well, no, it wasn't a recovery party. It was my friend's college graduation party from UCSF, and so we all went through rehab together, and then all of her family was there, and so it was our small rehab community that went to go support her and stuff, and two of the other girls ordered what did they order? It was something that had alcohol in it, but we didn't think it had alcohol in it. But one of them tried it, and she was like, "Yeah, nope, this is definitely going down the table." To the normies.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's developing a new relationship too. When you were talking about how you feel when you think about, the trigger, the parallel. If I could speak, parallel pathways in our brains. If we create a new relationship, it doesn't even have to be anything, that's comparable. It can be a frozen, lemonade, and it's a new relationship. Drinking this fancy drink while you're playing pool and watching football, and then now when you think about going and watching football and playing pool, you think of your frozen lemonade each time, and it gets a little less scary. And I think that builds, you have those triggers in a safe place instead of hitting you, when you least expect them. And I've seen that a lot, especially long-term recovery, is people think they're so strong, and no one's strong. Like, let's be real. There's triggers for everyone all the time. People with 20 years, there's going to be a trigger, and it's a matter of coping and learning ways around it. And I know personally I have bad coping skills, and I've gotten a lot of better coping skills as the time goes on, and I'm working on them.
Beautiful.
So, I figure that's another good coping skill to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, Donald, have you had any, you've been, how long now have you been in recovery, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, did you ask me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Well, I've been in a sustained recovery pathway for 17 years.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Congratulations, brother.
Rolling up on the big 18 in
Yeah.
October. But I've been attempting recovery since 1986, though. So
Okay.
I had a good 20 years out there of trying and stumbling and trying and stumbling and by some definitions, that could be the length of my recovery pathway. But there were long periods of surrendering to alcohol and drugs within that. So I don't measure it that way. I measure it by kind of the last chaotic relationship that I had with substances, and that was October 2004.
Yeah.
Whew.
Wow. Well,
A lot of
congratulations.
cooking.
That's amazing, man. I just, we all take it one day at a time, and if you do that, I mean, those days really do add up pretty quick. And so tell us, when you have a trigger that comes up for you, and you come across something that you're like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. What are some of the things that you do to try to help yourself process the trigger, maybe try to understand the trigger a little bit, and then that way you can be better prepared for that situation should it arise again?
I think the most triggering element for most people in recovery from a chaotic relationship with substances is stress, and emotional highs and lows. And so I've learned to help manage those. For years, I needed several medications to help manage a mood disorder. So that's kind of a separate issue. I had a manic and depressive mood disorder, bipolar disorder, that had to be managed. But even when that becomes manageable, one still has to cope with stresses and stuff like that. And the most helpful thing for me was other human beings. At that point, calling up someone and saying, man, my boss, or I didn't get that loan or whatever, and connecting with another human being is the most helpful for me. Walking outside in the grass and just sticking my heels down into the damp grass and looking up at the sky, and the infiniteness of that dome makes these little stressful incidences seem small in comparison. I've had some serious trauma in recovery. I lost my beloved sister to suicide a couple years ago, and that was extremely difficult. But the first thing I did was I leaned on my wife, Jill. I reached out to a couple of my friends in the professional space who specialize in listening to people who have experienced suicide in their life, and some of my people in recovery, and then just understood too that it's not going to go away, but it's not going to last forever at this level of acuity. It should be something that you fold into oneself and learn to live with. And those are the moments that are triggering for me. Yeah. Stress,
Yeah, absolutely,
walking
man.
in the woods,
Yeah.
talking to friends.
Right.
And sometimes, boosting the old dopamine and endorphin levels with some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, dark
And
chocolate. I
that
got it.
rolls us into halt, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. And we always got to check in with ourselves.
It's Girl
We
Scout cookie
know
time.
Oh,
You can't talk about diets during Girl Scout
Oh,
cookie time.
man.
Come on.
Oh, I know. I saw them over at the grocery store, and my friend asked me. He was like, "Oh, do you want to go get some?" And now I've got my own source for Girl Scout cookies.
oh, he's got his own plug. Huh?
Got my own plug. Thank you very much. And I lost her number purposely during the season this year because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be too hard to stay away from the s'mores Girl Scout cookies.
You got to make sure
Thin
to give
Mint,
them a
bro.
tip because they only get like 30 cents a box or 10 cents a box, something ridiculous. So if you give them a tip, the troop keeps the whole thing, and then you don't feel guilty about the cookies you bought for yourself that they didn't get any money off of. So it's like, I buy a couple boxes and throw $10 because then the $10 goes 100% to the troop. And I feel like I did something good, and it was so selfish.
I know this lady that does our Girl Scout cookies here in our fellowship. She is running definitely an underground operation here. I mean, she literally has an SUV full of cookies and like makes deliveries throughout Solano County, and she is definitely the cookie pusher. And I'm expecting next year. I'm actually like half expecting her to roll out an app so that we can make online orders and we can just like start the process, a couple months early, so she can get it going. But
it's amazing what those skills, when you use them for good, can do.
Exactly. I have my blue cheese dressing pusher at Black Bear Diner, and now I have my Girl Scout cookie pusher.
Yeah, but now it's not as complicated. Now you don't have to like stick your Girl Scout cookies in like a magnetic box under your car or something.
No, this is true.
I
Although,
I don't know. That's just, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, no experience with that, right? I'm gonna get you like a whole set of magnets and like just a metal box that will magically fit a Girl Scout cookie box. We can mount it to the bottom of your utility truck at work.
There you go.
See, I can't identify with this conversation at all. It's triggering to me when I go to the doctor's office. So,
right.
We just
Well,
have different
this is being
experiences.
Recorded, so for anyone that may be watching this, I have never participated in any kind of illegal activity.
Yeah, I never got caught either.
Yeah, I didn't get caught for it, so it never happened.
Yeah, right. I was never caught, never convicted.
I promised not to lie when I got into recovery, so I'm not even going to talk up and say that stuff. But my problem was with prescription medications. Not that there's, like I'm sure there's other stuff that if I tried it, I would have had an issue with. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone's experience is different, and what triggers them is different.
Indeed. And to have something as common as a trip to the doctor's office to be that thing, that's tough. That's like people who are in recovery from disordered eating or sex relationships. I mean, these are things we continue to want to have a manageable or have to have a manageable relationship with, like going to the doctor. I feel for you for sure on that one.
Well,
we don't have to go to the bar, but we have to go to the doc.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a hard thing too, because I shattered my elbow, and I had an implant put in, and then I'm missing a part of it. So anyone that sees an x-ray, there's a lot of nerves in your arms and your hands, and I still can't fully straighten or bend, and so I know I can manipulate them to give me the stuff. So it's almost like I have to have a pep talk, like if it's a bad day, or I just avoid the doctor, and that's a bad coping skill too. Let's avoid our problems, because that helps.
Yeah.
As a diabetic, I have to go to the doctor, so it's not a good coping skill to not go.
You do. And managing pain is such a difficult task. I don't envy that. I threw my back out this morning because I'm an old man. So I'm propped up right here, right now on some pillows. But there are people experiencing chronic pain that have to manage that pain but are also in recovery and don't want to take opioids. That's tough.
Well, I got my gallbladder out without narcotics, and I think I healed a lot faster. And I feel like it took a long time, probably about a year, but I feel like I'm in a lot less pain now than when I was taking medication, just because of the hypersensitivity, and everything hurt every 4 hours, and I don't have any of that stuff. So I think it's less pain actually now.
Oh,
in some ways.
right.
Yeah, and that goes all into the epidemic that you and Donald were talking about with the opiate epidemic, and so many people are suffering from the opioid crisis throughout throughout the world. We can't just say in the United States, but the pharmaceutical aspect of that. And yes, hashtag end overdose. I love that. Oh my gosh, I want one. Where did you get it?
Our RCO. It has the information for the RCO in the back. I'll send you one. You want one?
Yeah. Extra large, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Yay.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Brett wants one too. He needs. Brett, what size are you?
XL.
XL. What?
I put down the spoon and I picked up the fork, homie.
That's right, brother. We love that, man.
We've heard so many stories like that. These people wearing them, like walking down the beach, and especially in some of the ritzier areas where you don't expect to see someone wearing a shirt like that. It's open conversations that people that have children struggling, that lost children, have been able to talk to somebody because they saw the shirt, and they're like, they'll understand. And even like, because you never know who you can go and talk to, and like if there's so much stigma, so sometimes you got to put a billboard out so that people know that you'll understand, or at least try.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important to bring awareness to the opiate crisis and the overdose crisis, and getting those. I keep, the tools in my car, even especially going through like Vallejo and the areas that I work. I usually try to keep like Narcan in my car, so that if I do come across somebody that needs it. But also getting Narcan trained. If you guys want to go out there, there's free Narcan training. Pretty much any county that you go to can give you Narcan training, so that if you need it for a friend, if you need it for yourself, any situation, it's good to keep that on us, just considering some of the people that we know and the company that we used to keep.
And I wish that was 100% true. It might be true in California, but there's states that they do not have the trainings available in those areas, and but there's people that will bring them to your area if you don't have it in your area. So, reach out.
Great. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so check with your local area. Ashley, where would so if somebody wanted to get Narcan training, what would your recommendation, or maybe Donald, what would your recommendation be for somebody if they wanted to learn how to use Narcan?
Well, there's Harm Reduction Coalition websites, harmreduction.org for sure. Probably limitless videos on YouTube. Getting naloxone, most county health departments, you can get naloxone there, and reach out to your RCOs. Ashley, recovery community organizations have embraced harm reduction principles in many cases, and are engaged in some outreach and training there. And you can order Narcan online just to have it. Honestly, a lack of training should never discourage you from just shoving it up someone's nose or in their arm anyway, even if you're afraid of. It can't hurt anybody. It can't hurt you. If I had I have this old auto injector that I used to keep in my Blazer when I traveled. It's expired, but that's okay. Data show can last up to 10 years after its expiration with still some potency. So folks shouldn't be afraid of it. Communities that are resisting broad naloxone distribution, that's just deeply rooted in bias. and it continues to fascinate me even with the body count that we have now. It's the lowest hanging fruit. Make it rain naloxone in your community at the very least.
And are you guys familiar with how it works? I mean, what actually happens if somebody is in need of a treatment of this and we go and administer it to them? What is happening to them internally as far as like it's because it happens on a cellular level within your brain. Is that correct?
Well, opioids are a central nervous system depressant, and it can stop your breathing. The great thing about naloxone, and it's been around, man, forever. I watched an old episode of Emergency. That was that EMS show from the 70s, and they were shooting a dude up with naloxone. And it simply purges the receptors upon which the opioids have been stuck, shoots them off, breathing is returned. It is a temporary scenario. So, you know, it's good to keep an eye on this person, but that's what it does. It's miraculous and cheap. It ought to be cheap. It's been around forever. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
Shoot it on in there.
Yeah, that's great, man. You know, just medical technology has come so much further than even the 70s, and yet that is still the best way to treat a active case in front of you. And the technology doesn't really change because your receptors in the brain don't change, and the way that the opiates attach to those receptors, that hasn't changed very much. So,
right on.
And Ashley, you have yours. Do you want to show them what it looks like?
Yeah, Ashley, talk to it. I don't do Narcan training, but she does. I bet you.
Yeah.
Ashley, oh, do you?
I do.
Oh, okay. So are you going to walk us through a Narcan training right here live?
I guess I can.
Okay, wonderful.
Well, I can show you what it looks like, at least, and let you know like what to expect and make it so it's not as scary.
Okay.
Okay, so it comes in this one. There's a couple different types. This is a nasal spray. Nasal.
Okay. So a nasal spray, right? So that means that we are sticking this up their nose and administering it that way.
Correct.
Okay.
And so if you get a box like this, they actually have the instructions like right inside. So
a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
If you're worried about it.
Okay.
And it's kind of here, I'll show you what it looks like so you can have an idea. I feel guilty opening this box when I need everything for trains in the car. But so it looks like that. And it has the amount already in it. It's already like pre-filled. Okay. So have you ever used like allergy nose spray?
I have, yes.
So it's going to be the same idea, just that goes in. So it's really like, and so you want to put them on their side after you put it in one nostril.
Okay.
And make sure it's clear. You want to put them on their side after because they might wake up, vomiting, or you don't want them to aspirate. You also, so there's so many technical things that I'm just going to be honest is if they're not responding in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, don't wait a long time to give a second dose and use the other nostril because some of the drugs out there right now, most drugs, all drugs on the street pretty much are laced with fentanyl, and it takes more to revive someone. And the faster you get it the better their prognosis is. And you want to remember, like, everyone needs to breathe. So you want to check breathing, you want to clear airways. You want to keep yourself safe, but there's like absolutely nothing that can harm you about a nasal spray if you're giving it to someone. So a lot of people worry, and if someone's having a heart attack and you suspect that it's, an overdose, it's not going to make their heart attack worse. It's not going to, if they're having something else, that's where a lot of the fear is too. So if you suspect that it's an overdose, you're better off giving them naloxone than not.
Yeah, absolutely.
No harm. And the thing to remember with the nasal spray, though, is there's no reason to prime it, as we often do with our allergy nasal spray. If you try to prime it, you shoot all the medicine out and it's gone.
So Ashley, does that one, because you said that you can administer a second dose, does that one include 2 doses for a double administration?
It does. Each box comes with 2 in it.
Okay.
And a lot of times when you do a training, they'll give you multiple boxes if you want when you do the training.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, there's a stigma like about taking them. And I'm going to tell you, there's more people that I know that are not using drugs that will take it easier than people that are using drugs. So if you're worried about taking it because you think people will wonder if you're using,
Yeah.
I've seen, motorcycle clubs and, like recovery motorcycle clubs. I've seen like there's a lot more people that are not using that I know that have naloxone than people that are using.
Yeah, and it's rising so rapidly for people that might need this, to have administered to them. And like Donald was saying, rather play it safe than not do it. And now we are in much bigger trouble. And now we're having to go into things that hopefully we understand, like CPR, life-saving type of resuscitation and things like that. So, if you want to carry it on in your vehicle, I would highly recommend it. And you know what, if it expires, that's great. Let it expire, because that means that you haven't had to use it on somebody. And to me, that seems like a win.
And you might at the gas station, there's been so many people here that have overdosed at gas stations, and the gas station attendants have actually started asking that, like, force them to keep there, because so it doesn't, just having it on you doesn't mean that you necessarily need it for you.
Yeah.
You need it, the same reason like you learn CPR. You're not going to do it on yourself.
Yeah. I had a client who was an opiate user, and they came into treatment, and they worked in a security field, and they said that they always kept the naltrexone on them, and they would go to work like high, super high on opiates, and it was really shocking to them when we did motivational interviewing, and they kind of came to this whole revolution and this whole look at the idea that, you carry this on you, but if you needed it, do you think your buddies that were working security with you would have known to administer this that could have possibly saved your life? Or would they have thought, well, he wouldn't be doing drugs because he's an armed security guard? And, so, it's always good to carry on you.
And I've told the 2 stories that like have hit me pretty hard is that there's a gentleman that, comes and gets naloxone, and him and his wife have been together for a really long time. She's given a couple of different prescriptions from her doctor, and she's older in age, and she forgets if she's taken her medication, and she forgets like, her anxiety medication and her pain medication. There's certain medications that make you stop breathing when you take them together. So when you don't remember your medication, he's had to use it several times on his wife because she's forgotten her medication. And and then there was another one there, a lady didn't want to take it, and somebody, convinced her, just take it. She knew her son was using, but she didn't think he'd ever take anything that would cause an overdose. And she ended up using the Narcan on her son, and it was a couple weeks later, she had a heart attack, and he performed CPR on her. So by saving, she saved her son's life, and then he saved hers. So you never know how it's going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys are looking for more information, you can check out your local organizations, and they will be able to get you more information about how to use Narcan, how to administer it, the different types of administration you can use on those. So please check in with professionals so that you can get the best possible training on those. And Brett, we're looking at doing our giveaway pretty soon. Do you want to post up our our apparel giveaway again, and so we can get more people throwing down the hashtags there, doing it sober
Yeah,
hashtag.
let's do it. So
Doing
we're
it
going to be
Yeah.
giving away
sober.
that
Donald,
fancy
have you
t-shirt.
thrown in your doing it sober hashtag on the stream yet? Because you are more than welcome to jump in on this, bud.
Yeah, so all you have to do is comment doing it sober, hashtag doing it sober in the comments, and you will automatically be entered in the drawing that we'll be doing here shortly. And there's the picture of the shirt right there on the screen. It says Recovery Revolution at the top, and it is brought to you by doingitsober.com.
That's awesome, man. I'm doing mine right now, actually.
I guess I should do it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but I feel like if I win
all
it, you
doing
guys
it
are gonna be like,
sober.
"Oh, he cheated. He cheated."
I would give it away.
I'll go ahead and enter, but you guys are gonna be mad if I win it. You guys are gonna think it's rigged.
I already think it's rigged. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to be mad, Brett. I'll be excited. I'll be happy for you.
Doing it sober.
Oh, show.
Oh, you missed the G there, Ashley. You didn't get entered.
Faux show.
I mistyped mine too. I said doing in sober. Wait,
doing
what?
it sober. Ashley's a little gangster there.
Well, I'm trying to polish up my act, but yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, Ashley. One day at a time.
Hey, I'm not perfect.
That's right. No, none of us are. Perfection is left to things that are above us. So Donald, how you doing, man? How are you enjoying being on the show, brother?
This is a nice conversation with some splendid people.
Oh, well, we appreciate
So
you.
I'm having a good
being
old
here, man.
time. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, you got a great show of just laid back, chill conversations with wonderful people.
Tell us a little bit about yours. I know that you had Honesty on this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Honesty Liller. She was the latest episode. She just published her memoir called Scattered Pink, Diary of a Woman in Recovery. 20 minutes. I try to keep it down to 20 minutes. My wife has encouraged me, to keep it interesting. I would love to have longer conversations with folks, but there you have it. It's called No Thanks But Yes. Chill conversations with splendid people. It is open to anyone who has overcome a chaotic relationship with substances. Some people self-identify as in recovery, some don't, but what they all have in common that there was a time when they were experiencing a severe substance use disorder with a specific substances or multiple substances. And we just talk about, a lot of times it's people I know, so how we met, and what they're passionate about, what they do for kicks, what their favorite music is, and I don't know. It's been great. I've had some really cool people on it, like Honesty, and if you watch Netflix's reality show Blown Away, Alexander Rosenberg is an excellent performer on there, and he came out on the Christmas episode.
I messaged him. I tried to get him on my podcast.
Oh, hey man, he's up for telling his story more now. Sometimes folks get new to the space of telling their story.
Mm-hmm.
The first season of Blown Away, he was just 6 months into recovery, and he talks about that on the show. But then, some 4 years later, he's on this Christmas special, and it's fundraiser. So he says, "Yeah, I'm doing a fundraiser for Savage Sisters in Philadelphia. It's a recovery house, and because I'm in recovery." And so I jumped on Insta and messaged the brother right away. I said, "Come on." And Maya Solovitz, an author of the seminal work Unbroken Brain and Undoing Drugs. Brian Cuban, Mark Cuban's brother. He's an attorney and an author himself. He just put out a work of fiction. He's known for his memoir, but he tried his hand at writing fiction. So that's out now. Ambulance Chaser, it's called. So I don't know. It's 19 episodes, diverse faces, diverse voices, multiple pathways. Several harm reductionists are on the show. Um, yeah, I'm having fun. It's a hobby. It's unaffiliated with any organization. It's non-monetized. I just really was feeling this creative bug that I wanted to get out. And as I'm coming up through nonprofit world, I've kind of learned lots of little skills and worn many hats. And
Mhm.
I'm a hack, but
Yeah.
you know, I play around with graphic design and with editing and stuff like that. And it's fun. It's a
Yeah,
whole
man.
bunch of fun. And I get to use it for work too, because occasionally I'll talk to someone whose work or knowledge is highly relevant to maybe some of the rural community work I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I'll say, hey, check out it's a little self-promotion, but I'll say, hey, check out this episode. This person says it better than I do about whether it's about harm reduction or opioid agonist therapies or recovery supportive housing. Had several recovery supportive housing activists on there, Sasha Alexandra Ramos, and and I'm drawing a blank, showing my age. But anyway, that's it. I could
Yeah.
go on and
Is
on.
it freeing to not have to, that it's not affiliated, that you're not having to wear the hats? Because I know, like,
Yes.
I have to decide, like, which Ashley I'm at, like, certain things because of, I'm, an officer on 2 different nonprofits, and it's like, am I gonna be this officer or this officer? And even I'm the same person when I go everywhere. My views are still the same. The things I say are the same, but it's
Mhm.
one, they don't pay as much attention to what I'm saying in certain places, and the other one, they pay a lot more attention to what I'm saying. And
Yes.
it's like so frustrating because I'm like, in recovery, I'm supposed to be able to be myself, and here I am still trying to fit in this, like,
Yeah. I dig it. I know exactly what you're talking about. It is liberating because this is purely mine on my time. And we can talk about anything we want. And I've had my collar pulled many times in the past, being a person, a nonprofit, taking state monies, federal monies,
Mhm.
municipal monies, and everybody wants to maybe, mitigate your advocacy a little bit. Don't say anything too bad. But I threw the link in the chat. It's from when I was a musician. So
Okay.
it's B flat minority, and I
Oh, I
can't get
like
it
that. Yeah.
changed to no thanks but yes. Yeah, B flat
Yeah.
minor. It's just a great
Okay.
jazz thing to play in.
Yeah.
And every time I join a band, I'm like the only horn player. So I don't
Nice.
know. Many years ago, it made sense to
Yeah.
me. B flat minority.
You have to check out a band called the Time Bandits.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Look them up. They're really awesome.
definitely.
Yeah. And are you're familiar with Marilyn Ferguson?
Oh, you cycled out for a
Oh,
second.
okay.
Familiar with
Are
what?
you familiar with a song called Coconut Champagne?
I have heard coconut champagne. Yeah, that's
Okay.
a
Yeah.
classic. Yeah,
Man, that's a great jam, brother.
no doubt, no doubt.
That is a great jam. And also Birdland. Oh, that's another.
I
Oh,
love Birdland. Yeah,
yeah, man. Now we're
for
getting into
sure.
some real
Maynard
stuff.
Ferguson. Most
Yeah.
football players idolize the screamer. I kind of yeah.
Yeah.
But then I got into my man Louis Armstrong after watching
Oh,
Ken Burns Jazz and
yes.
realizing that the dude was sent here from another planet to save
That's right.
us.
That's
He
right.
is the father of us all, Louis
Yeah.
Armstrong.
Yeah, man. I can dig it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So Brett and Ashley are like these players.
I gave up TV. I don't have time.
Right. It's okay. It's just a great classic jazz. All right. So Donald, are you a jazz listener on vinyl or are you a digital jazz listener?
I used to be a vinyl guy for sure. I
Okay.
have a collection of vinyl, but I am
Nice.
exclusively digital now in all
Okay.
of my listenings. I've got Alexas in every one of my rooms in the house,
Brilliant.
and I say, Alexa, play Freddie Hubbard everywhere, and every room in the house will start. And now every
Nice.
time I say Alexa, your listeners, Alexas are popping off.
Yeah. I was
I'm
waiting for
sorry.
yours to pop off there.
Well, that's why I renamed mine computer.
Oh, really? You can do that?
Computer.
Yeah, you can rename it. Oh, and that's my thought before when I said the TV. I sometimes just say part of a thought is I don't watch TV, so I don't know newer music or like older, like to keep up. So I just like listen to the same things I listened to 20 years ago. That's why the halftime show at the Super Bowl was kind of fun.
We
Oh.
all
But-
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a Star Trek geek, so I had to name mine computer.
Nice. That just brought a whole plethora of ideas on what I can name my parents' Alexa. Oh, good times. They love Alexa, man. They're relatively computer savvy, but like they definitely have latched on how to use Alexa. So
have them do their grocery shopping through Alexa. They can
Yeah.
ask Alexa to tell them
to order
jokes.
things, yeah. Things, yeah. It's crazy.
She'll fart too.
Yeah. Oh, will she?
My grandson, he's like 8 years old, and he comes over every time he runs over to the corner. He's like, Alexa, fart for me. And she will. And she's like, what kind do you want? And they have all these different names for it.
Oh,
Wet
really?
one, squeaky one, whatever. And she says, I can fart 100 times. Would you like me to fart 100 times? And every time he says yes, it drives us crazy, but we let him.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is going to be a memory that he will cherish for a lifetime.
Facts.
She heard her name. Did you hear her start talking?
Yeah. Ashley, can you ask your Alexa to fart for us?
No,
No.
Alexa, fart.
I have headphones in. I have to say it.
She is. She
That's
is.
why it freaked me out. I was like,
Right.
but I said it and I didn't notice.
Brett, I think we need to get Alexas in our house.
Alexa,
Yeah, I
fart.
have one, but it's not plugged in.
No, she's not listening. I have a temperamental Alexa. Sometimes she listens and sometimes she doesn't.
Mine wasn't listening to me just now.
Yeah.
Computer. There she is.
Yeah.
Fart.
I don't know that one.
No.
Ask her to
All right.
tell you a dirty joke and then a clean joke.
Mm. Oh,
Right.
is it about soap?
Yeah, taking a bath.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Thank God.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Donald, it's been really cool having you on the show, brother. We are so grateful that you took the time to come on, man. I love the fact that you're a horn player. That just warms my soul. And I'll be sure to get your information from Brett, and we can talk offline, and I'll get you the information for the Mendocino Jazz or Music Festival, the Mendocino Music Festival.
Yes.
And I will ask my old trombone teacher from high school, who is a principal horn player for them, and I'll see maybe if I can get some more information for you on that.
Yeah.
So Brett, you wanna run our giveaway now, bud?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right.
I'll go ahead and throw the picture back up there so we can all look at what it is that we're giving away. And come on. The winner of the shirt is Josh Young.
Josh, my man.
Congratulations to Josh
Congratulations,
Young.
brother. Or Josh,
My brother's
are you,
name's Josh.
Are you still on the show, Josh?
I don't see Josh.
Yeah.
Are you
Josh, if you're
listening?
still on the show, type in the chat and let us know, and then we'll get a hold of you.
Either way, Josh, you still won, so you're good.
Brett, do you have? I think that you should upload the Jeopardy music when we're waiting.
I think I think that has a copyright on it, sir.
Oh,
Oh,
Janet's got a good point. Sorry.
Hey, can you share with us your new uploads?
Which one? Which one? I have
All
so
of them.
many, dude. We don't have enough time for all of my fancy
Just
sound effects.
Maybe the chilies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, Brett, your wife said no kazoo.
Oh,
She's shocked.
Oh, what?
ask and ye shall receive.
Chrissy, thank you so much. I almost forgot about that.
You should always give your wife what she asks. That's good policy.
You gotta,
Yes.
you gotta pull out the electric kazoo. I don't care what anybody says.
That's
you
right.
gotta do
Donald, that's going to be your next adventure is on the electric kazoo.
Ooh,
Yeah, brother.
I think
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a staple. It's a staple of the live show, the electric kazoo.
Look at that.
I played flute in middle school, but I quit because I wasn't good. So
Oh.
I like things I'm
played
good at.
flute
Come on.
for like 3 months, and then I quit too. Then I went over to trombone.
I don't play any instruments except the kazoo.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I actually went to the bassoon after the flute because there were so many good flute players, and like
Yeah.
there was no one playing bassoon, so they liked me because I was playing bassoon. I wasn't good at it still, but I felt like it was good.
Absolutely. All right. So we have Josh. How are we going to get a hold of Josh, guys?
Usually JR takes care of that.
Okay. So JR, you're on it. Track it down. Josh, use your connections at the VA.
Or
And
just scroll to
send
the
out.
top of the comments where he commented to enter.
Or you can email any of us at our first name.
Yeah.
Somebody else has to say because I'll mess it up.
recovery-revolution.org.
There you go.
Yes.
And if there's some, a topic you want someone to be on the show for, let us know. We want to have people that help you. So let us know what helps and what you like and what you don't.
Absolutely. Ashley, that's a good idea. Maybe we should put a little survey up on Facebook or something, and we can have people, maybe do a survey where we could all get together and figure out some questions.
We are reading the chat, Jenna.
Yes, Jenna.
Google Forms are your friend. They like give you all the information and you don't have to do the work.
Yes.
So,
Google
as somebody
Forms
that
is
manages
amazing.
several things, I'm a fan of things that you don't have to do a lot of work and a lot of meetings because there's a lot of meetings already.
Yes.
Not that I don't like to meet with you, but
it's okay. I've got your number. I can just call you.
There you go. I would much rather have a phone call than a meeting.
Okay. You do enough meetings throughout the week, I'm sure.
I know. And people are like, when do you have time that I can? And I'm like, can you just pick up the phone? And just if I don't answer, I'll call you back because when we have it planned, then it's trying to find the block of time. And then when there's not enough blocks of time.
Right then and right now, if you've had enough time to send an email asking when's a good time that we can have a meeting, why not take that time to just call somebody?
And I know that they feel they're being polite, so I don't get upset, but it's like, it's hard to, especially when it's like volunteer stuff, because it's, you got your solid work day, and then it's like everyone wants to meet during the day, and just call me.
Absolutely.
Send me a text is way better. I'm not really as much of a phone person, but I'll talk if you call.
Yeah.
Text me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brett, you wanna do our closing announcements and we can
Sure, man. I would love to do the closing announcements. Right. So, like we mentioned at the top of the show, we are doing a t-shirt design contest for Broken Chains Apparel. So if you are interested in entering a design, the link for that is going to be pinned at the top of the Facebook page. Or if you're not going to enter, you can still use that link and vote on designs that have been submitted for that contest. The winner will receive a free shirt with their design on it, a $25 Amazon gift card, and they will be listed as the artist in the description, as well as have a link to their website or social media profile where they can where you can find more of their designs. Don't forget to check out Donald McDonald Show. No thanks, but yes. There's his little link tree link down there in the bottom that goes to all of his social media stuff. The links for that will also be in the podcast version and the YouTube. I can't even talk. The YouTube description after the show is over. If you guys would like to send us a audio message, you can go to speaktous.rrl and record a audio message for us, and we can play that on the show. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get notifications when we go live. And if you guys want to email any of us here at the show, just put our first name, so either Carl or Ashley or Brett, at recovery-revolution.org. Or you can go to the website recovery-revolution.org/live. That has all of the previous videos as well as the upcoming video. You can find all of our contact information, sign up for the birthday club, all kinds of cool stuff over there. So be sure to check out that website. Am I missing any other announcements?
No, I think that's it. We have our guests lined up for next week. That's
We
been
do.
taken care of.
A little
and-
last minute switcheroo.
Yeah,
And
last
Jana,
minute
I,
switcheroo.
I just saw your messages. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. And when I look to the other screen that's bigger, I look crazy because I'm not looking at the camera. So like it was totally a vain thing and not me not listening to you. So I'm sorry. But
We
you,
hear you, Jana.
it's
Yeah.
it's me, not you.
I know Jana really well. We were roommates there for a little while, so
Just
Jana
wanted to apologize.
She was feeling some kind of way.
Yeah. Jenna, we love you. And we appreciate you.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
oh, thanks, JR. Oh yeah, we also have the birthday video. I forgot
okay,
all
we're
about
doing
the
that
birthday
again.
video.
Gotcha. All
I
right.
think we do that on every episode there, homie.
Sure thing, buddy.
So we got the January birthday. If you want to be on the February birthday, check out the link on the website or on the Facebook page. So I'm going to go ahead and run that real quick.
You had one job.
That's right. You had one job.
That's for JR. That's his catchphrase.
One
JR.
job. Nice.
He hasn't sent us cake yet, so I'm still on strike.
I love that's a good groove on that song. That's a very just kind of it's on the back of the beat, man. Yeah, very chill. Got a good little islandy feel to it.
And
JR says they're still taking birthdays for recovery.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get your name in the birthday and the recovery today magazine,
today.
yes, put your name down. JR will get you into the to the right people over there. And
JR is the people.
JR is the people. I didn't know that he had been promoted to the people.
Every time you guys keep saying January birthdays, I keep looking back and accepting February. I'm like,
Yeah, JR,
I'm like, what? You're throwing me off because it's like almost March, and I mean,
yeah,
I'm late for everything, but I'm not a month late. Come on,
Yeah,
like
JR,
this is where we get these reputations.
JR, we need you to do a little bit better.
One job.
One,
You had
JR,
one job.
you had two jobs.
Can we celebrate March? Like, or
No fronts, though. No fronts.
Yeah, no fronts. We can't do any fronts, but we can start taking names, right? Because we won't post them until March.
that's for you guys have your rules. I don't follow those rules. I have my own rules. I'll celebrate any day. Any
That's
day
right,
you want to
Ashley.
celebrate, let's celebrate.
Ashley, you can celebrate my birthday any day if you want. I'll give you my mailing address.
Oh yeah, you want gifts now? Like,
Oh,
like company's not good enough for a celebration?
oh, you want to come to California? Because I thought you were banning California from your travel plans.
3 words for you.
California's actually
Treat,
pretty.
Yo.
Battle of
I
the
will say
beaches.
I'm going somewhere cold,
Um,
like Alaska.
Yeah. So I have exciting news. I have a belly button birthday coming up this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, on the Sunday, the 27th,
Nice,
February 27th, was the day of my birth.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to ask how old, or is that
Yes, I'm going to be
Okay.
43.
awesome?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. a
Happy
very
early
proud-
birthday,
Thank
because I
you,
celebrate
thank you.
early.
Yeah, that's right. You can celebrate my belly button birthday early. I'll take a front on that. Might as well get the inevitable out of the way, which is one day older, but that's okay. Man, well, I'll tell you what though. I don't even feel like I'm 43. I feel like I'm 35 still. So, that's because I don't do drugs anymore. Don't do drugs.
I've had dark circles under my eyes since I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's just like the sinuses thing, like in the days I get good sleep, I have more circles under my eyes than when I don't get good sleep. So it like makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're an enigma.
An enigma.
Yeah, it's that puffiness. Like I look so tired all the time.
Cucumbers.
Hey, Donald, we have David wants to connect with you because he's also in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And North Carolina isn't that big, right, man? I mean, how long? If you were to go from the top of the state down to the bottom of the state,
Well,
how long would that drive be?
That would be just a couple hours. It's the length of our. It's the length. It's really the impactful thing.
The state was the state.
Yeah, from Murphy to Manio, man. It's 10-hour drive probably.
Oh, okay. That's like from here to LA almost in California. Yeah.
Well, with traffic though, probably it's an overnight stay halfway down, probably halfway through.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took all of my willpower not to play the That's What She Said little sample right there.
Yeah, I served up on a platter.
Oh man. Brett, just do it, brother.
That's what she said.
I made that joke the other day somewhere and nobody got it. And I was like, oh, know your audience. You ever had that? Like, they just don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It was just funny because it happened and everyone just looked at me and I was like, you've never heard that
I
before?
do it all the time.
Yeah. Brett, when are you gonna give me a flag for my boom arm here, man?
Whenever you pay for it.
Well, if I send you the money, will you order it for me?
Why don't you just order it?
Because I don't know how to do that.
It's really easy.
Okay, I'm gonna call you this weekend for technical support when I order my flag.
I don't want to say her name, but she'll do it for you if you just teach her how.
Who?
I can't say the name or she'll start talking to me. Maybe.
Oh, I know. You know who on the you know what we can't talk about.
Right, where you can order your groceries and.
Yeah, that one. That
yeah,
one.
you can order.
A computer.
There you go.
Yeah, your computer will order it for you. I like that. Yeah.
If you don't know how to do something, just either ask Google or ask your device and they'll teach you.
Ask your device.
Coping skills. Gotta figure it out.
Ask the one that knows.
Oh, what's up, Michael?
Oh, Michael. New studio complete March 10th. Michael, we would love to have us on your show.
We would love to have us.
I sent him the link to sign up too, to be on here.
Michael, yeah, you were sent the link for our show too, brother. We'll have to do a little
he gets a lot of messages.
Swapperoos.
I'm sure he does. Yeah. Michael and I actually met. I was trying to think. It was probably like 8 years ago, so I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but we've met once.
Like in person?
Yeah, he's here in the Dallas area.
Oh, Michael in the Dallas area.
He's a local celebrity.
Wow. Michael, are you a local celebrity in the Dallas, Texas area?
Michael in the Dallas.
Michael from Dallas. Not the TV show.
Danny from the block.
M2 The Rock. What does M2 The Rock mean?
Because he's Michael Moulton, so it's M squared.
Oh, M squared. Oh, okay, yeah.
And The Rock.
Yeah, and The Rock.
That I'm not sure of. You probably have to ask him.
Wait.
He's in the comments.
Michael, comment and tell us what your screen name means.
What's up with The Rock?
That's the name of his show. He does a Facebook Live show as well.
Oh, The Rock.
Recovery.
Oh, okay. I read a book called Drop the Rock. Have you guys read that?
Yeah, step 6.
Yeah, man. That is I have my guys read it at our center. Oh, such a powerful book, man.
Yeah, it is. Drop the rock.
Yeah.
You don't need it anymore.
You don't.
It's hard to swim. It makes it hard to swim.
It does. Yeah.
Don't smoke it.
Yeah. It's not the rock they're talking about, Donald.
Okay.
Donald, we should get Brett and I to come onto your podcast there.
Well, now
sounds
he's
like
inviting himself on all the shows.
I know.
Man, that's the way you got to do it, brother.
No,
Sometimes,
I let people approach me. I don't.
Okay,
I don't
Donald,
ask.
I would love to be on your show. I'm just you
Darn.
can text me later.
Okay, I will. I will.
No,
People call
schedule
my
an
people.
appointment.
Yeah.
Schedule an appointment to meet with him.
Yeah, your people can call my people, and Brett is my people. So just
Brett must be
Oh, Brett.
pursued.
yes, Brett must be pursued. That is his persona speaking to him.
No, I was just raised. My mom always told me don't ever invite yourself over to somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like that was what I was told as a kid.
And don't drive by too.
I'm
Yeah.
from California. We do things differently around here.
Oh
I
yeah.
know.
No. We got, like it's ingrained in the head,
Yeah. Brett must be pursued.
Speaking of forcing people on your show, remember Mobilize Recovery? Afterwards, we watched Tipping the Pain Scale, and John Shinholzer jumped up on the mic and said, "All right, everybody, raise your hand if you want to be on McShin's podcast." he put them all. He put the whole cast of this show on.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious
That's
watching
great.
Greg Williams go.
Oh,
But they all went on the show. They have a great show. Make
Yeah.
sure
they do. Get in the herd. Or is it called the herd?
get in the herd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard. I hurt my
Yeah.
back this morning, so every now and then I make a face that might be kind of scary. It means I moved the wrong way or I laughed too
Okay.
hard.
Nice,
Sucks.
nice. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the playback and occasionally I'll make this horrifying face.
Oh, that happens to me at all the meetings. It's always the worst face, or my eyes will be big because I'm trying to look at something, and it's always the worst. So I don't ever a lot of times I don't watch the show back. That's why.
Yeah.
Or we all do this, and Ashley doesn't.
Yeah, they get on the same page, and I'm out in left field.
Ashley's like, wait, what are we doing?
We're doing that again?
Yeah, I'm my mental capacity by 8 o'clock is
right.
I mean,
So what's with the drunken worm? Speaking of meanings behind names.
Sure.
Carl.
So the drunken worm is the worm at the bottom of a tequila bottle, and I was trying to come up with a name for the podcast, and I just couldn't find anything that really kind of stood out from all the other ones. I didn't want to have a podcast with recovery in it, or I didn't want to, something like that. So I was like, man, and I was thinking about it, and I was watching the soccer game, and this tequila commercial came on for the soccer game, and they were talking about the worm in the bottom. And I was like, oh, the worm. Oh, how could we do the worm? And then I was like, wait, the worm is at the bottom of the bottle, so that worm must be drunk. So what if we called it the drunken worm? And so I looked up the drunken worm, and there's a bar in Tennessee called the Drunken Worm. And so I didn't do that, but I was like, well, let me see if I can find a podcast called The Drunken Worm. And there was a bunch of podcasts. Well, not a bunch, but there's other podcasts like The Drunken People or The Drunken Dudes, but none of them were The Drunken Worm. I was like, oh, the riches are in the niches.
maybe you guys can help me, since you guys are, in the know with podcasts, is, because of my affiliation, mental health and stuff. Someone in my class, I'm in school for my MBA, and they wanted to listen to a podcast that had to do with mental health, preferably with a doctor.
No idea.
Me neither. Everyone I know is normal people. And I mean, there's some doctors, but the doctors that I know are doctors. They're not doing podcasts because.
What's the name of his show? Hold on, I know one guy.
See, I knew somebody could help me.
I like a couple doctors.
And then somebody in the chat can help me. Somebody's gonna help me. I have faith. Because if they want to listen to something to learn about mental health from a doctor, I need to find what they need.
What is the guy's name? What's the name of his show? I'm trying to find him on.
Todd.
No, his name is Ellie. He's from New York. What is the name of his
You have my number.
I do.
You can send me a text.
Or if anyone would like to email Ashley, you can email Ashley at recovery-revolution.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some
And
MBA students, you'd help them out with the podcast so they'd learn about mental health and you'd be doing a public service.
His name is Ellie Weinstein, and his podcast is called The Dude Therapist.
oh, that's cool.
Well, now I asked, do you need someone with a PhD or does it an MD? And my doctor's office thing, and so I'm like, you're asking me to refer you to doctors. Like this is something So
All right, Brett. Well, hey, guys, I actually have to run because I have another interview that I'm doing for my podcast.
Oh,
2 minutes.
whose
I
podcast did you
know.
ask to be on?
Nobody's. I'm doing it for mine. I have the sober raver coming on to my show,
Oh,
and
Chelsea.
so this was the only time that she was available, and it's 10 o'clock her time, so I don't really want to make her wait. Although she just said that she couldn't find the link, so I'm sending it to her right now. But yeah, so Donald, it's been a pleasure meeting you, man.
Honored.
I got your text. We will definitely be in contact, and I'll get you the information that you are looking for about the Mendocino Music Festival out here in California. It happens
That
in the
would be
summertime, and it's
awesome.
amazing.
I'm working with Mendonoma Health Alliance out there.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'd love to come by sometime.
Yeah, that's great, man. And maybe we could do a little work together with them, and we can talk about that. I also work in the recovery industry field here, clinical supervisor. So why don't we touch bases on a professional level and see what we can do, and work together.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that.
All right, brother. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to jump out of here. It's been a pleasure seeing all of you, and I will see you guys next week. These guys will probably remain on the show for a few more minutes longer, but I will be signing off. And remember, you ain't got to live like that no more.
Ah.
I had to. Awesome. Well, I think we already did all the closing announcements and all that fun stuff. Ashley, you got anything else for us?
I just want to thank Donald for being here. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you for asking me, Ashley. That was brilliant. It made my day.
Well, awesome. It's a wonderful thing I've found in recovery. If you ask, people show up for you, but when they show up, you have to you show up back because so you end up showing up a lot. But it's good. It's good stuff. So thank you for coming and thank you for showing up.
You betcha. Anytime. We're connected now.
That's right.
Opposite of addiction is connection.
There you go. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to go lay on my back and eat pie. I did a gig in Kentucky. Sometimes I get paid with pie. I keynoted a little conference in Kentucky. They sent me 2 pies.
Nice.
That's nice. They must have appreciated that. Instead of just 1, you got 2.
It was just under the wire, too, because I'm starting a diet tomorrow. So I'm going to have to smash them tonight.
You got to eat both of them tonight.
Yeah, see, I do that when I start a diet, too, is I eat a lot before the diet and then a lot after. So it just doesn't work out.
The trick is just to not start the diet.
Aha!
Or just moderation.
No. I don't do moderation.
No.
What is moderation? That's why I'm in this whole mess.
Well, I don't know. I'm weird. Especially when it comes to chocolate, or sweets, if I have them, I don't crave them. If they're here and I know that I can have them, I'm all right. But it's when I tell myself I can't have them that I need them. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can have all the sweets you want. Some Jedi.
Yeah, just don't tell me I can't do something because then it's on.
Brett, you can eat all the pizza you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Pizza. JR had pizza the other night.
No pizza.
All right, Brett, you gotta say your line.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight on the live stream and to everyone that is listening to the show after we go off the air, whether that be on YouTube or Facebook or the podcast feed. We appreciate your support. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, guys, it is all about progress and not perfection. Have a good night.